Hey guys, it's Rich with your Monday Spot in Pagan Perspective. This week we're talking about folk magic versus ceremonial magic. I'm going to ask you to please excuse some of the noises that are happening around here. I have the cats playing, I have clothes drying. This is Monday morning and I'm going into work. They switched my shifts at work, so I'm working the afternoon shift / evening shift. So you're catching me just as I'm waking up and all that. Like I said, this week's question is about folk magic and ceremonial magic. It comes from BlackHeartCheyanna, who writes, "Hey guys, I wasn't sure how to send my question in to you guys, so I thought this was my best option." I'm going to stop right there. If you go to the blog, the Pagan Perspective blog, I'll put the web address in the video at the very end. And if I can remember, or if I think of it, I'll put it in the description as well. Usually it's on the descriptions, but because I do mine via the iPad and put it directly up on YouTube that way, Car's template for the blog doesn't necessarily show up in the description. So I'll try to put that in the description as well. You can look up your topic, see if it's been covered, or if it has been covered by somebody else in the past. Maybe ask an updated question to it, or if it's been done a long time ago, then maybe it would need the newer people's perspective, I guess. I don't know if you'd consider us the newer peoples. Anyway, moving on, you can also see how to ask a question on there. It covers all that stuff. Car's done a great job on the blog. So, going forward with the question here, so I'm very much into the practice of folk magic, but I'm not very well versed in practicing ceremonial magic. Living in a college dorm, as I do at the moment, it is hard for me to get into ceremonial magic, but I think I'm limiting myself by only practicing folk magic. How do you guys recommend I get into practicing ceremonial magic? Also, any comments on the Norse Gods Temple being built in Iceland? Excuse me. So, I don't know anything about the Norse Gods Temple being built in Iceland. I don't regularly watch the news. I kind of try to stay away from the news as much as possible because most of it is bad news, and I don't want to be bogged down with that while I have a life to live. So, yeah, I don't know anything about that per se. Anytime that we actually have a topic, usually dealing with, current events or anything like that, I usually have to look it up and research it before even doing a video, and this one completely bypassed my brain. So, ceremonial magic, if you're not really well versed in it, it's basically where ritual takes on a more formal approach. Folk magic is like the less formal, hey, I'm going to do a spell, or hey, I'm going to honor this deity, and you just do it. Ceremonial magic, you have to call on the watchtowers, you have to, do the circle in a certain way, and I mean, it's a very structured, rigid way of doing magic, which I actually started out with doing ceremonial magic rather than, or a more ceremonial magic type of practice rather than the folk magic. Nowadays I'm more of the folk magic where, hey, I need to do something, I need to do it now, it's going to get done, I can't wait, and that's what I do. So my practice is more folk magic now than ceremonial magic as it used to be. It used to have been, yeah. Car's going to kill me for bad grammar. Like I said, I just woke up. Anyway, a couple weeks ago we did a video, I think it might have been a little over a month ago, maybe. We did a video on if you're in college and, going away to college, how your practice can be done within a college. So go check out those videos. It might help you with actually figuring out how you want to proceed with doing your ritual base, or with doing any of your practice. So that might actually answer most of your questions there. As for doing ceremonial magic, if you really want to do it, seeing that it is very formal and you may have roommates, I don't know your actual situation. If you have roommates, you might just want to ask them to leave and, do electric candles instead of, an actual flame, an infusion spray instead of actually doing, incense and stuff like that. You might want to do something of that nature. So that would actually be the bulk of your practice. The main part of it is to have nobody else there, or to have a very small group there, or a working group that you were in, to have them there, and not somebody that's just, oh hey, they can do their thing, I'm gonna just be over here on my bed. It's very much where you have to be centered in that practice, at least the way I view it. You have to be centered in what you are doing and be very intent with every single thing that you are doing. Like I said, it's a very rigid structure, which I actually, it actually appealed to me whenever I started, because being military, everything is supposed to be structured and very rigid, and it's supposed to be done in a very certain manner. And nowadays, it's like, I can't do the full-on, hell to the guardians of the watchtower of, this direction and, this and that. I still do that on occasion, but it's a lot less structured than what it was. Certain hand movements and stuff like that. To me, it just gets in the way of me actually practicing and being, or putting my heart and soul into it. It's a little too structured for me nowadays. So, if you were to do it, like I said, I would have ask your roommate politely to excuse themselves for about an hour or 2 hours, if you could have the room to yourself, and try to do it in as comfortable of a space as you can, using the appropriate substitutes like infused water for incense, or electric candles so you don't burn the place down type thing. Keeping in line with the rules of the college. So that's basically the only guidelines I can pretty much give this week. I don't know if I really helped that much, but I hope I did. I think that's about it. So I think I'm going to let you guys go, and then I got to get ready for work. But first, the most wonderful potion of all, coffee. Talk to you guys next week. Until then, have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye-bye.